This isn't a quarterback controversy. It's a corporate hostage situation. Behind the scenes in Berea, something far more dangerous than a depth chart competition is exploding inside the Cleveland Browns organization. According to multiple sources, Nike, the biggest brand in sports, is demanding that Shedeur Sanders start every game. Not next week, not gradually, immediately. This isn't a suggestion, not a marketing preference, a direct demand. And the Browns? They're not just caught in the middle, they're hanging by a thread. Nike didn't invest $175 million into a rookie quarterback to watch him run scout team drills. Their internal projections have Shedeur Sanders generating over $400 million in direct merchandise revenue in his first year alone. Signature campaigns are already filmed, primetime ads already booked. Even the signature shoe, it's in development. But all of it hinges on one thing: visibility. No highlights, no money. No jersey sales, no return on investment. So now imagine this, a global corporation walking into an NFL facility, unannounced, sitting down with executives and saying, "Start him," or "We start pulling funding." And the craziest part? That meeting already happened. Head coach Kevin Stefanski is standing his ground. The locker room is cracking under the pressure. And for the first time, maybe ever, a corporate entity isn't just influencing an NFL roster. They might be the ones running it. This isn't just about the Browns anymore. It's about what happens when money starts calling the plays. Because if Nike gets what it wants here, the entire NFL changes forever. And what happens next might redefine who really runs professional football. It wasn't scheduled, it wasn't subtle, and it definitely wasn't normal. Nike executives showed up at the Browns facility without warning. No press conference, no calendar invite, just high-ranking corporate stormtroopers walking into Berea like they own the place. And why wouldn't they feel that way? They just signed a record-breaking endorsement deal with Shedeur Sanders, the most lucrative rookie quarterback deal in history. We're talking $175 million in projected brand value from one player. But to Nike, that number only works if Shedeur plays. Not develops, not splits reps, starts. Full-time, no backseat. So when Shedeur got treated like a normal rookie, rotating in, running scout team, taking time to learn the system, Nike started flipping tables behind closed doors. What happened in that emergency meeting? According to insiders, it was tense, not collaborative, threatening. Nike had receipts, video campaigns already filmed, holiday promos built around Shedeur, signature shoe releases, retail activations across North America and Europe, all anchored around the expectation that he'd be on the field. Now, they brought slides, numbers, economic impact reports, proof that keeping him on the bench doesn't just hurt their brand, it drains the franchise's value. They weren't pitching, they were delivering an ultimatum: start him, or risk losing millions. And if you're wondering how that landed with football personnel, not well. Sources say the meeting left the building in shock. Coaches furious, veterans confused, assistants calling it the end of football logic. Because for the first time in NFL history, a corporate sponsor might be successfully dictating a depth chart. And in the chaos, a quiet message echoed around the league. Coaches, your decisions are no longer just yours. When Nike bet on Shedeur Sanders, they weren't just investing in talent. They were investing in a brand built to headline the next generation of football. Sanders isn't just a quarterback. He's a marketing machine. And for Nike, he's not just part of their fall campaign. He is the fall campaign. Sources close to the deal revealed something most fans didn't know. Sanders' contract includes visibility clauses, playing time expectations, primetime exposure minimums, even engagement triggers for additional bonuses. In other words, Nike didn't just sign him to endorse a few shoes. They designed an entire revenue stream around his face being under center every Sunday. And the projections? Staggering. Nike reportedly expects over $400 million in first-year revenue generated by Sanders-related merchandise apparel, shoes, media rights, and global licensing. That's not hype, that's logistics. There are already commercials in rotation, billboards in Times Square, an entire digital campaign ready to launch in week 1. Except now, the Browns are following their standard development curve, taking their time, running a quarterback rotation, emphasizing readiness over revenue. And that's not going to cut it for a brand with a razor-sharp calendar and a global narrative to control. To Nike, every game Sanders doesn't start is lost money. Every delay in his elevation delays retail rollouts, campaign timetables, and global product launches. In their eyes, they're not meddling. They're protecting a $400 million investment. But to the Browns football staff, it's an aggressive overreach that crosses a line no sponsor has ever dared approach until now. And if Nike gets away with it, they won't be the last. Kevin Stefanski never asked for this battle, but now he's knee-deep in it. Inside NFL circles, Stefanski's known as one of the league's most structured, disciplined developers of quarterbacks. He's not flashy, not reactive, not drawn to outside noise. He follows a system, one anchored in performance, not politics. So when Nike walked in with demands wrapped in marketing decks and money talk, he didn't flinch. Sources close to the staff say Stefanski made his philosophy crystal clear after the Nike meeting. You don't buy your way into a starting job here. You earn it. His quarterback evaluations have always been simple. Who reads defenses fastest? Who takes care of the football? Who executes under pressure when it matters? And by those standards, Shedeur Sanders shows promise, but he's not all the way there yet. Film breakdowns have revealed slow progressions at times, terminology hesitations, missed safety rotations, normal rookie stuff, fixable, but not yet starter-proof. That's why Stefanski insisted on a rotation system, not to punish Shedeur, but to protect him. His coaching staff backed him, unanimously. Offensive coaches believe Shedeur can be special. Yes, but on a timeline that feels right for the player, the team, and the locker room. Now, that timeline is under siege. Veteran players are whispering. Who's making the calls around here? The coaches or the commercials? Stefanski built this locker room around one sacred rule: merit over marketing. And now, that rule is being tested by a global juggernaut. If he caves, he loses the room. If he resists, he risks losing the sponsor. It's no longer just about quarterback development. It's now about Kevin Stefanski's identity as a head coach. From the outside, it still looks like football practice. Throwing drills, huddle breakdowns, stretching lines. But inside the Browns locker room, there's a quiet fracture forming. Players know what happened with Nike. Even if no one says it on camera, texts get passed around. Reps get noticed. And the whispers, they're getting louder. Veterans with years in the league are privately unsettled. One source says a respected offensive lineman stood up and asked the room, "Are we chasing wins or playing favorites for sponsors?" Guys who've been around dysfunction before, they feel it. They've seen what happens when power shifts away from the locker room and into boardrooms. Trust fades, focus blurs, and football becomes about something else. Younger players are caught in the middle. They want to believe in the coaching staff, but it's impossible to ignore the influence Shedeur's brand has brought through the door. His face is on billboards. His cleats have a countdown. Some of these rookies are wearing products with their teammates' name on them. And yet, no one's blaming Shedeur himself. Sources say he's remained professional, low-key, and locked in. The issue isn't him. It's everything orbiting around him. Some teammates, especially those with endorsement deals of their own, are quietly siding with him. Others support Stefanski's football-first approach. In the middle, a locker room that for the first time since camp opened feels unstable. Chemistry isn't just about liking each other. It's about knowing who's in charge and why. Right now, that answer is getting cloudier by the day. And as the season creeps closer, the Browns aren't just managing playbooks anymore. They're managing pressure coming from places that don't wear helmets. The Browns may have a quarterback controversy behind closed doors, but online, it's already a full-scale media meltdown. Within hours of the Nike bombshell, #StartShedeur was trending across every major platform. Highlight reels flooded timelines. Fan edits sparked viral traction. Former players chimed in. Influencers pushed narratives. Even celebrities posted their takes. It didn't stay local. It went national, then global. And make no mistake, this was no accident. Sources say Nike activated a full-on digital pressure campaign, coordinating with brand ambassadors, contracted athletes, and social media influencers to push one clear, sharp message. Shedeur Sanders should be the Browns' starting quarterback. Now, even sports analysts with past ties to Nike quietly pivoted their messaging. TV segments suddenly featured phrases like, "You've got to see what the kid can do," and "no more holding him back." Opinion wasn't forming naturally. It was being manufactured in real time. And it worked. Talk shows debated it for hours. Twitter drowned in takes. Reddit blew up with theories. Local radio callers turned hostile. Suddenly, everybody wanted an answer. Even fans who were willing to trust the process 2 weeks ago, many of them have flipped. Their patience is worn thin after decades of quarterback failure. And now they've got a new face to believe in. A brand to rally behind. A cause. The Browns didn't just gain a rising quarterback. They now have the internet watching, demanding, refreshing, and for a coaching staff trying to insulate development from distraction, this has become a nightmare. Because the X's and O's are no longer on just the whiteboard. They're sitting in every comment section. They're trending by the millions. And ignoring that kind of noise might break your entire season. Quietly, discreetly, but very seriously, the NFL is watching. Not just because one team is in chaos, but because the power struggle unfolding in Cleveland could set a dangerous precedent for the entire league. Nike's corporate intervention isn't just ruffling feathers. It's ripping through the shield. League executives are alarmed. Sponsors have always influenced marketing, partnerships, branding. But starting quarterbacks, roster decisions, snap counts? That's new, and it's terrifying. Multiple franchise owners have reportedly reached out to the league office, asking where the line actually is. Because if Nike gets what it wants in Cleveland, what's stopping every major sponsor from doing the same thing next season? Imagine quarterback depth charts written based on merch sales. Cornerback rotations determined by ad buy rates. That's not football. That's brand warfare masquerading as game planning. Inside the league office, sources say preliminary conversations have started. Nothing official yet, but policy discussions are on the table. Things like barring sponsors from tying financial bonuses to playing time, regulating how endorsements interact with team personnel decisions, or even rules protecting coaching autonomy inside contract language. And then there's the media optics. This controversy has already overtaken preseason highlights on sports networks. TV panels and Twitter blue checks aren't talking about coverages or schemes. They're talking about power, money, and leverage. And that kind of narrative kills trust. Because fans don't want to believe that games are being scripted by sneaker execs. They want competition, authenticity, integrity. If this situation doesn't cool down, and soon, the league might have no choice but to step in. Because the game only works if everyone believes winning matters more than selling. In the middle of all this madness, Shedeur Sanders hasn't blinked once. No tweets, no interviews, no passive-aggressive sideline moments. By every account from inside the Browns facility, the rookie quarterback, caught in the eye of a corporate storm, is doing the one thing everyone else in this drama isn't. He's just doing the work. Sources say Shedeur has stayed locked in at every practice. First one in, last one out. Asking questions in meetings, leading film study breakdowns with wideouts. Quiet, focused, professional. Even as veterans quietly debate whether the depth chart is being bought, not earned. Sanders isn't talking, he's showing. His talent? Never been the question. Coaches are raving, off the record, of course, about his arm strength, his poise under pressure, his rare ability to throw on the move with both velocity and accuracy. He's creating social media highlights in practice without even meaning to. But he's also making rookie mistakes, like every quarterback does. Missed protections, slow progressions, system hesitations. Normal stuff. And yet, he never flinches. That's what's impressing people the most. His emotional control. He hasn't let the cameras change him. Hasn't tried to force the narrative. He hasn't given Nike anything extra to pull from. And he certainly hasn't given the coaching staff a reason to doubt his professionalism. Players notice that. Coaches notice that. Even executives notice that. In a firestorm nobody asked for, Shedeur's handling things like a guy who's been in the league for years. He didn't ask to be the centerpiece of a national controversy. He just wants the ball. And the way he's carrying himself right now, that ball might feel a whole lot safer in his hands than anyone expected. There's an invisible line in professional sports, and right now, Cleveland is standing on top of it. The debate isn't just about Shedeur Sanders anymore. It's not even just about Nike. This is about something far bigger. Who controls the game? Coaches coach, sponsors sell. That's always been the unspoken arrangement, each staying in their lane, each understanding their role in the larger ecosystem. But if a company with cash and camera crews can walk into an NFL building and demand who starts under center, that line isn't just blurred, it's vanished. And the ones watching this most closely? Other teams, other brands, other players. Because if Nike pulls this off, if marketing goals successfully override football logic, it sets a precedent no one can unsee. Will a player's next big endorsement include snap count guarantees? Will rookies be evaluated based on QBR or Instagram reach? Will coordinators have to balance blitz pickups with billboard placements? This isn't just a tension in Cleveland. It's a potential identity crisis for the whole league. And that's where the Browns, whether they asked for it or not, have become the test case. If the coaching staff wins this battle, it sends a clear message. Football decisions stay with football people. If Nike wins, the door is open for everyone, everywhere. No matter how this plays out, one thing is certain. Shedeur Sanders' NFL journey will be remembered not just for how he played, but for everything swirling behind the scenes that tried to change how football works. And the decision Cleveland makes in the coming days might be the one that sets the tone for how sports, business, and integrity coexist going forward. Someone has to make the call. The only question now is, who actually gets to make it? This isn't just Cleveland's problem anymore. It's professional football's wake-up call. What started as a simple quarterback competition has spiraled into a defining moment for the NFL. A corporate giant, a coaching staff, a locker room full of veterans, and a rookie caught in the middle, each pulling in different directions, each with something to lose. But here's the truth. Only one side gets to win. If Nike gets its way, forces a starter decision based on TV ratings, jersey sales, and viral hashtags, it sets a precedent that may never be reversed. Suddenly, coaches everywhere will wonder, are we building a winning team or prioritizing the sponsored product? Players will question every personnel move. Fans will question the integrity of every franchise. And sponsors, they'll feel empowered. They won't just want visibility, they'll want leverage. Contracts with influence clauses, public campaigns designed to pressure internal decisions. Coaching will stop being about leading men and start becoming a negotiation between money and merit. But if Cleveland holds the line, if Kevin Stefanski and his staff make their final quarterback decision based on tape, practice, readiness, not pressure, It becomes a landmark moment, a message to every locker room and every league. Football still belongs to football. The stakes couldn't be higher, not just because this involves a future star like Shedeur Sanders, but because how it's handled will echo beyond Cleveland. For years, this is how eras shift, how lines get drawn, how boundaries are tested and either enforced or erased. So the Browns are on the clock, not just for a starter, but for the soul of how the NFL operates. Everyone's watching, and what they do next might shape the future of the league.